Good morning. Welcome to another edition of Fair Game Laguna. I'm Tom Johnson, along with our great mayor, Sue Kemp. Good morning, Sue. How are you?
Good morning, Tom. I'm great. I'm great this morning.
I hear you're coming off one of those great mornings where you got to meet with the local Girl Scouts.
Well, it's actually the third graders from
Oh,
top
third
of the
graders, I'm
world.
sorry.
So yeah, they have they get out of school. The first question I always ask them, you guys have to be out of school, because what we do is they come to the city council chambers. We talk about city government and city council, and so they ask all kinds of cute questions.
Yeah,
And then they go for me, they start really having fun. They go to the fire department, they see the fire pole and the truck. Then they go to the police department, they see the police car and the police dog and the equipment that a police officer wears. And then they go to marine safety and talk about what those guys do down there to keep people safe in the water. So they just have a great time. They're
that's
all
great.
excited, and one of the firemen was there today, said he went to school here in Laguna, and they said, "Where'd you go to elementary school?" And he said El Moro, so they all booed him.
Oh, that's funny.
It was pretty
Well,
cute.
at the end of the day, then when the teacher takes them back and says, well, rank what you like best about the day, it probably goes police dog, mayor.
I think it goes police dog, marine safety, fire, than me.
Okay, or whatever. But the police dog has got to be number one for anybody. Um, so council was busy on Tuesday night. You addressed the always hot fire pit issue, um, and you improved a certain amount of pits and everything. Why don't you take us through that, and tell us what's going on?
Right. So the county, before we took over the beaches, they had, fire pits there. And in the transition, between the county and the city, something happened to those fire pits. I don't know if they're deep under the sand or they washed out. We don't know what happened to them, or if the county removed them. I don't know. But anyway, we had a lot of people interested in the fire pits coming back. And so, the fire department looked into it. So we're going to put 7 concrete fire pits along that area of Aliso, and they're pretty far apart. Um, so, and then they're also removable. So if we know we're having high surf conditions where we'd be concerned that they would, whatever materials in there would go back into the water or they disappear, we can move them. That we'll have a little, I think probably something like a forklift. They'll just move them back away from the, surf. So I think it's going to make everybody happy. We do it in a way that I think is safe. And then you can also get propane portable fire pits from the Lost Pier Cafe. You can rent them from those guys. So, I think we have a good solution. I think it's going to be a safe solution.
Yeah, there's nothing like sitting around a fire on the beach at night. So
Right,
good stuff.
right.
Speaking of fires, our goats are on the move again.
Yep.
Uh, Boy, they come into town. They set them out. We have 2 groups now going around. They really chomp down on that stuff and clear the hillsides.
Well, that's a pretty good job to have, is just eat all day. I
Yeah,
mean,
right.
who
Well,
wouldn't
the
like
nice
to?
thing is that they're probably the greatest city employees because nobody talks back.
They do bleat.
Yeah,
But,
right.
but yeah, they're very effective, and I noticed they're on the move. When I had the kids this morning, they're all interested in the goats too.
Right.
Something that they relate to. So we talked about the importance of the goats and fire prevention.
So I notice every time something comes out on the goats, as far as they're moving them to a new area or reintroducing them or whatever, there's always a cautionary note: do not touch the goats. Is that a problem?
Or the fence. I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, I haven't heard anything about it. I think there probably has been in the past where people like to go up and feed them. We don't want them doing that.
Yeah.
The goats
Yeah.
have a certain type of food they eat, and it's mainly
And plus, you want them to eat the
goes on the
hillside.
ground.
That's what
Yeah,
they're there for.
that's
So,
their food. Yeah, as much as cute it would be to throw food in there. No, we don't want anyone doing that.
yeah. Okay.
And don't touch the fence either.
Yeah. Okay. Good stuff. Um, Council also moved ahead on the local housing trust fund.
That's
That
right.
was something that was previously voted on, then reintroduced at Tuesday's meeting. I
Mhm.
even saw um, one business in town. Actually, it's in a press release out this week about they're exploring it. Talk about the local housing trust and how important it is to Laguna Beach.
Right, so we have, like every city, we have to build, and we have to build units for housing, and they have to be, some have to be affordable. And so our number is 394. And so, in response to that, you had a couple of developers interested in two sites in particular. One is the Tiamo site. Um, the city owns that property at the moment. And then the other site was the Congregational Church. So there's some legislation called SB4, which gives religious organizations some more latitude in using their properties, because a lot of the church properties are big and maybe somewhat underutilized. So there's an opportunity for churches to engage, in housing. So what we're trying to do, the purpose of that agenda bill was to, we have two identified sites because the developers both came forward on those sites. So they had those to present. And the idea would be that we voted basically to create a mechanism to get more money from the state. So if we put in $2.5 million for affordable housing, we hope to get the state to match that. So we'd have $5 million to put forward for affordable housing. It's kind of a mechanical thing. And the other thing Bob Whalen made very clear is, just if we get money, and that's a big if we get money, we're not tied to any project. It's just we've identified two, but we're not. I think we have 5 years to use the money if we were to get the grant. There is some controversy about the what we would do at the Congregational Church site, because in the agenda bill it said homeless would be housing homeless there as well. That's not accurate. And there's a long way to go there. We would have. I mean, this is just a mechanism to get money, as I said. But if we were to build any affordable housing on that site or any other site, they have to go through design review. There'd be a lot of community input. So there's nothing for anybody to get all worked up about at this point. We got a long road ahead of us.
Okay.
But we do need affordable housing in this town.
Right.
And people think of affordable housing as, it has a stigma attached to it, but it's people getting out of college and starting their first job, and they can't afford, $2,500 in rent,
That's such an important thing. I thought, when my daughter went off to college, I thought, how are they going to come back and re-enter this marketplace,
Right.
and that's what parents want. So that is important.
Well, that's why people, they have 5 roommates, they all pay $600 a month or something, or $700 a month. And then,
Right.
as they get older, they're like, well, I have to keep living like this, or
Right.
it's hard. So, well, more to come on this. There's a lot more discussion that we're going to have on this topic.
Yeah. Well, I commend you. Things seem pretty quiet and under control in the city, and
Yep.
you're certainly a big responsible for that. So I commend you, and I look forward to talking to you again next week.
You got
That's
it.
Stu News, Laguna Beach, fair game.
Have a good day, Tom.
Bye-bye.